Ryan, if you happen to see anything come through on any of the chats, give a holler, okay?
I will.
Thank you. So, members of the Land Use Authority that are present, I'm Scarlett Bankhead, I'm the chair. We have Rob Stapley, our Public Works Director, Max Pierce, our City Engineer. We have Diane Campbell, who is our zoning, or excuse me, works with our land use and development. We have April Fredrickson, who works with zoning and code compliance, and we have Ryan Snow, our city manager. It looks like we have D. Chug, and it looks like he has Howard Christensen on board with him, Jessica Williamson, and Christopher Brown. Looks like all three of our agenda items are represented right now. So we will start with the first item, which is the Providence City Administrative Land Use Authority will consider for approval a request from Visionary Homes for 4 townhomes buildings located at approximately 557 North, 225 East, 556 North, 225 East, 561 North, 245 East, and 214 East, 550 North in Providence. Diane, if you'd like to, well, before you start, Jessica, did you get a copy of the agenda packet with the staff report in it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Then Diane, if you want to just give a synopsis of the staff report.
Okay. We got this application on November 3rd. Rob Stapley inspected the infrastructure on November 5th. Do you want me to go through all the findings of fact?
You can just introduce which code we look at, but you don't have to talk about the description.
Okay. Utah Code 1095 allows municipalities to adopt land use ordinances. Providence City Code 10.5 is sensitive areas. And it states that all requests for permits involving a lot, parcel, or site within an area subject to hazard flood, hazard slope, hazard water table, hazard earthquake, primary fault, or hazard wildfire shall be dealt with as a request for conditional use permit. Providence City Code 10.3.5, conditional use permits allows the city to impose reasonable conditions to mitigate a reasonably anticipated detrimental effects of the proposed use on the health, safety, and general welfare of persons residing, working, or conducting business in the vicinity, to mitigate injury to property in the vicinity, to mitigate any risk to safety of persons or property because of vehicular, traffic, or parking in large gatherings of people or other causes. Conclusions of law. Providence City has adopted land use ordinances that include conditional uses. This parcel is in a hazard water table area. Providence City has the authority to impose reasonable conditions to mitigate the anticipated detrimental effects. The request meets the requirements of the codes listed in the findings of fact with the following conditions. The applicant will continue to meet all relevant federal, state, county, and Providence City rules, laws, codes, and ordinances. The applicant will mitigate hazard water table by utilization of land drain, and the townhomes will be slab on grade with no basements. This conditional use is for the townhomes only as shown on the site plan, emailed November 9th, 2020. Approval by the city of any application submitted or paperwork does not alleviate the owners and or their agents from their responsibility to understand and conform to local, state, and federal laws. Providence City's approval is not intended to and cannot be construed to allow any laws to be violated.
Thank you, Diane. And I apologize. If you read condition 4, I didn't hear it. You'll also need to pay the fees, Jessica, associated with the zoning permit. Jessica, do you have any comments or concerns regarding this?
No, should be pretty standard like phase 1.
Okay, Rob or Max, any comments, concerns?
Nothing for me.
Me either. Land drain is doing a great job down there.
April or Ryan, do you have any comments?
I don't.
I don't.
Okay. Having no other comments on this, the land drain, that's good news to hear that the land drain is doing a good job. I just want to reiterate that the townhomes will be slab on grade, so they're not connecting to the land drain, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve the conditional use request from Visionary Homes for the 4 townhome buildings located at 557 North, 225 East, 556 North, 225 East, 561 North, 245 East, and 214 North, 214 East, 550 North in Providence, based on the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and conditions reviewed in the staff report. Can I get that motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, the motion was by Max Pierce, and the second was by Rob Stapley. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Voting was unanimous. Thank you, Jessica. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. See ya.
Okay. Christopher, looks like you're up. Our second item is a conditional use for a new home. The Providence City Administrative Land Use Authority will consider for approval a request by Christopher Brown for an accessory building located at 552 North Sarah Street in Providence.
Sorry, I should have changed that accessory building out to new home. It's not.
I was just going to ask. Okay, so let me restate that. We are considering for approval a request by Christopher Brown for a new home located at 552 North Sarah Street in Providence. Christopher, did you get a copy of the agenda package that included the staff report?
Yes, I have it on my computer right here.
Did you have any questions regarding the staff report?
Nope.
Okay, all right, thank you. Diane, if you want to just take a minute and quickly review that, please.
Okay. This completed application was everything, when we got everything done, it was all done and turned in on November 2nd. Rob Stapley inspected the infrastructure on October 26th, and Aaron Walker, the fire inspector, reviewed the site, and there's a letter dated November 6th. For findings of fact, we use Utah Code 109A507, conditional uses, which allows municipalities to adopt land use ordinances. Province City Code P105 is sensitive areas, and we talked about that already. Province City Code 1035 talks about conditional use permits and allows the city to impose conditions. Conclusions of law, Providence City has adopted land use ordinances that include conditional uses. The Cache County GIS parcel summary indicates that this parcel is in a hazard landslide area. The request meets the requirements of the codes listed in the findings of fact with the following conditions. The applicant will continue to meet all relevant federal, state, county, and province city rules, laws, codes, and ordinances. The applicant submitted landslide and fire hazard report for Providence Hollows Phase 3 subdivision dated 10/8/18. That was included in the packet. And the applicant is installing a 4-foot retaining wall in the backyard as shown on the site plan. This conditional use is for the home only as shown on the site plan, date stamped October 29th. Aaron Walker, the fire inspector, reviewed the parcel in the interest of fire safety. The approval of the city, approval by the city of any application submitted or paperwork does not alleviate the owner and or their agents from their responsibility to understand and conform to local, state, and federal laws. Providence City's approval is not intended to and cannot be construed to allow any laws to be violated.
Thanks, Diane. Really quickly, and I apologize for putting you on the spot, but since I don't have access to my office for a minute, can you look in the, can you look in the packet and just read what the engineering review said about the landslide area?
Yeah, hold on.
And while she's doing that, Max and Rob, did you have a chance to look at the information submitted in the packet? And do you feel like the retaining wall is adequate for what's needed in the landslide area?
I did look at it, Scarlett, and I reviewed the landscape study that was done. Or excuse me, not landscape, the landslide study that was done. And there's nothing in there that alarms me. The way you worded that makes it sound like the retaining wall is a mitigating factor, and I guess I didn't see that being the case. I mean, I don't know that they are using the retaining wall as a mitigation factor. At least that's not what I got out of it. I don't know if you did or not, Rob.
Was that
I was
Chris?
kind of just curious as to whether that retaining wall is going to be tying in or stopping short of the neighbors' major retaining walls that they've begun constructing up there.
So that retaining wall is just to hold the slope back so it meets the 30-foot. I read through your guys' city codes, and it said that if any steep land is within 30 feet of an existing building, that you guys don't allow that or something. I can't remember. And anyway, I want a retaining wall back there anyway. It doesn't go all the way to the neighbor's property. It's just that little dotted line you see there is the bottom of the slope. That's just to push the bottom of the slope back a little bit around the house, just to give a little bit more space there.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Diane, but we're not looking at this for hazard slope, or are we?
No.
Okay.
The GIS summary didn't show any slopes.
Okay.
Any 30% slopes.
Okay. All right. And then what did they say in the?
You want me to read the executive summary?
Yes, that would be great. Thanks.
Let's see. I'll just read the last part. Field investigations revealed clear evidence of prehistoric landsliding east of the proposed project. However, current site conditions appeared stable from geologic, hydrologic, vegetative, and soil indicators. The absence of transverse cracks or ridges, talus piles, chaotic land surface texture, shallow groundwater, jackstraw trees, or unstable soils indicate that the parcel slopes have been stable for centuries, if not millennia. Based on this information, as well as other factors discussed in this report, the proposed location for the subdivision is deemed suitable for residential construction. Given the site's location in the moderate fire hazard zone, which it isn't anymore, it used to be, it is recommended that the home builder incorporate elements of ignition resistant construction where reasonable.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Max, Rob, anything you would like to add?
Nothing for me.
Okay.
So
Ryan?
Potentially he'll be adding 30% or greater slopes by the retaining walls in the backyards, right? With the 2-to-1 slopes that he's put all the way across the back, it looks like.
Yeah, so that little dotted line is showing the very bottom of where that slope stops. Not to be confused with the setback that's also drawn at relatively the same location, which is the solid dashed line. And I was just indicating that those slopes will be further than 30 feet away from the house.
Did that answer your question, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Christopher. Ryan or April, any comments you'd like to make?
I don't have any.
I don't have any.
Ryan, are you seeing anything in any of the chats?
I am not.
Okay, all right. With that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve a request for conditional use by Christopher Brown for a new home located at 552 North Sarah Street in Providence.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Rob, excuse me, motion by Rob Stapley, second by Max Pierce. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Voting is unanimous. Thank you, Christopher. Diane will send you a record of this, or Diane will notify you when the record of decision is ready, and then you can pay your fees and pick up the record of decision. So, and you move forward with your building permit process.
Thank you.
You bet. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Okay, that brings us to our third item. Welcome back, Dee. Providence City Administrative Land Use Authority will consider for approval a request by D. Chug for an accessory building located at 285 North, 300 East in Providence. And I'm not going to have Diane go over the staff report again. This is a follow-up meeting. Dee came and saw us a couple of weeks ago and had some homework to do. This particular structure would be in a FEMA Zone A flood area. Dee, do you want to explain the documentation you submitted to us just recently?
Yes, I did contact FEMA and ask them about the potential floodplain, and they said that that's all they did is come and give a recommendation of where it's possible to be flooded. They didn't provide an altitude, but I did get GPS altitudes for the front of the building and the ditch bank at the top of the ditch bank. And they're provided on that, on both things I submitted there. We've got a slope from where the front of the shed would be to the back, and that's 30, I want to say it was 38, no, 3 foot 8 inches higher than the bank is where the back of that building,
The front of the building.
the front of the building would be. And so the back would be the same altitude there. So it'll be 3 feet above that. Then the concrete slab on top of that, because that's the footings that have to be there.
And how far away are you from the top bank of curb, or I mean, excuse me, the top of the bank of the stream bed?
We are at 30 feet
Okay,
for the back of the building. The front's another 24 in front of that.
okay, all right. And Dee, do you have any questions regarding any of our discussion from last time?
No.
Okay, all right. Rob, Max, any comments you want to make?
No, nothing for me.
Me either.
Okay. Ryan or April, do you have any comments?
No.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay, Diane, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I just, on the staff report, I did add some of the hazard flood things from Providence City Code. So that's
Okay.
there now.
Okay. And just for the record, I would like to read the conditions on the staff report. The applicant will continue to meet all relevant federal, state, county, and Providence City rules, laws, codes, and ordinances. This conditional use is for the accessory building only as shown on the site plans, date stamped November 9th, 2020. And approval by the city of any application submitted or paperwork does not alleviate the owners and/or agents from their responsibility to understand and conform to local, state, and federal laws. Providence City's approval is not intended to and cannot be construed to allow any laws to be violated. So, Dee, do you have any questions about those conditions?
No, I think we would those, I'm good. We're at meeting those requirements as far as I know.
Well, I
Okay,
wouldn't violate any laws.
thank you, Howard. All right, that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve a request for conditional use by D Chug for an accessory building located at 285 North, 300 East in Providence, based on the findings of fact, the conclusions, and the conditions in the staff report, the conditions that were read today, and the findings of fact and conclusions from the previous meeting that we held. Can I get that motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Max Pierce, second by Rob Stapley. All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Any opposed? Voting is unanimous. So thank you, Dee. Have a very nice afternoon and good luck with your building.
Thank you.
I don't have any other business on our agenda unless there's something that someone wants to bring up that needs to go on a future agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that one.
Okay, motion by, motion by Max Pierce and second by Rob Stapley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you to everyone for attending the meeting. Have a good rest of your day and enjoy the rest of the week.